Welcome to another DVD by me, Grandmaster Simon Williams, and this DVD is going to be on a nice, flexible and easy opening to learn, the London system. Now, when I first told some people who buy my DVDs in the past I'm doing a London system, I have to say there was a little bit of doubt coming from them, because they thought, the London system, that boring opening, why are you doing the London system, Simon? That's not your style. And I had to explain to them that the London system, in my eyes, is a very good and easy, and it can be, and it will be in this DVD, an aggressive opening. And I think it's a brilliant opening for all players to at least try out and to have in their repertoire. The reason for this is, well, it's very easy to learn. You can play the same kind of setup against all the Black's moves, which is great. You don't have to learn as much, so it's a good opening for us lazy players who have other things to do as well as preparing. You know, we don't want to spend our whole lives preparing. We want to fit in other things in our lives as well. So the aim of this DVD is, to me, to teach you this system with white. So when you're white, you can literally be confident against everything that Black does. And I've in the course of basically doing this DVD, I've really found some phenomenal ideas. And another thing I want to do, because it's my style, I've got to have my style in this DVD as well, is to play it in a really aggressive way. It's got a reputation as being a solid opening, but I'm going to show you some fascinating possibilities where you can get a great attack in a very lazy way, basically. Now, this is really just the introduction. We'll go into more detail a bit later on. I've broken up this DVD, just to let you know how it's going to run, into three main parts. Now, part one of this DVD, which we'll move on to in the next game, is going to concentrate on the move order D4. This is your starting move for the London system. And now, in part one, we're going to deal with everything you need to know if Black plays D5 at some point. So part one is concentrating on D4, D5. And in this position, well, I think the most precise move order here is Bishop to F4. And really, just to give you some key points so you can get an idea very quickly about what you're trying to set up for with white, the London system is really characterized by the moves Bishop F4, Knight to F3. I'll explain in a minute why I believe Bishop to F4 to be a more accurate move order than Knight to F3 immediately. But generally, your setup is Bishop to F4, Knight to F3, and then you create a triangle structure with E3, C3, so you can hopefully see this triangle, this good basis of the position being erected there in the centre of the board. And then we've got to develop our other minor pieces, so Knight BD2 and Bishop D3. And this is really the basic setup for the London system. And I think, you know, just as an introduction, that's going to be stage one. Now, stage two of the DVD, if we just get rid of some of these arrows over the board, is going to be after the moves D4, and now a very popular choice from Black, Knight to F6 here. And this is probably Black's second most popular choice, as well as D5. And after Knight F6, Black has two normal ways to set up, either with G6, and this is like the King's Indian Grunfeld kind of setup, or the other kind of setup, which we'll have a look at in this third part of this DVD, is with E6. But let's just talk about the second part first. So again, against Knight to F6, I'm recommending here Bishop to F4. Again, this move order here. And now, well, D5 will move back into part one, so we don't have to worry about that. And G6, very popular choice here. I'm going to give the move, which is, okay, slightly different to the first chapter, but I think it's the most interesting choice, and that is Knight to C3 here. So this differs a little bit to chapter 1, because you may remember I was suggesting C3 and E3, this triangle structure there. But against Black fianchettoing kingside with G6, I'm going to recommend this Knight C3 move. And the point of this is, I believe that Black's best move is now D5 here. because if black doesn't play d5, you're going to try to go e4, and you should be very comfortable there. For example, bishop g7, e4 here, and this leads to some very exciting positions with white going queen d2, bishop h6, attack, attack, attack. So I believe the most accurate move for black here is d5, and then the general idea I'm recommending is e3. Again, you can see I'm delaying the development of this knight for some particular reasons. And now, some very interesting ideas we'll look at in part 2 after bishop g7. I'm now going to push my favourite pawn, harry the h-pawn, and we're going to try h4, leading to a fascinating, tactical, and easy to learn attacking position for white. So that's generally part 2 of this DVD. And then in the final part of this DVD, the way I've broke it up is after knight to f6, bishop to f4, we're going to have a look at other options in black, mainly e6, which is the Queen's Indian setup, with black trying to go b6 next. This is how it differs from part 1. I mean, you can go knight to f3 here, d5 will go back into part 1, but if black plays something like b6 here, we get a different kind of position, the Queen's Indian. So part 3 will include this, the Queen's Indian setup, and everything else that black can try. For example, we're going to have a very brief look at c5, but we don't need to worry about that too much. But after the moves knight to f6, bishop to f4, we will have a look at c5 here, which is maybe a bit more demanding on the position for white, and just everything else you need to know. But I'm going to try to keep it as simple as I can, in an easy way for you guys to learn, and I want you to be confident and happy playing this exciting opening. I promise you it will be exciting, and you will enjoy yourself playing this. If not, just give me an email, I'll give you your money back personally. Famous last words. But I think to start with, that's my general introduction to the DVD. I really hope you enjoy it. In the next bit, we'll concentrate on the moves d4, d5, and I'll tell you a bit more about some of the things you need to know with that position, and before we move into the games, your general ideas, black's general ideas, what you should be doing, what you should be avoiding, and the move order which I've specifically found for this DVD. So thank you so much for buying this DVD, and let's move on to some cracking stuff, hopefully. Goodbye for now.